Welcome back to another episode of the Erickson Brothers Podcast, where we talk about the questions we do not know the answers to and the possible returns of life's investments. My name is Jeff Erickson, and I'm one of your co-hosts today, here with my older brother, Matt. Matt, how you doing, bro?
Good, man. It's been a while. Happy it's Friday. Ready to rock.
Ready to rock? I got a fun stat for you. You ready?
No.
All right, let's
Okay,
do
now
it.
I'm ready.
All right. So 90% of podcasts don't make it past 3 episodes, right? And out of the remaining 10%, 90% of those don't make it past 20 episodes. And this is number 32 for us. So
Wow.
I think we might have to change our podcast to top one percenters. I don't know. I don't just statistically, I mean, we kind of fall in that category, so we might have to change it up.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Top 1%, but long way to go, I guess.
No, I say that as a joke, dude. You just gotta, be consistent and you just stick around long enough and I don't know, I guess you win.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But
Yeah, we got a lot to catch up on though.
we
It's
do.
about a
We
month
do.
since we jumped on. Um I mean I could start off one of the biggest things happened for me recently was you guys all came out. The whole fam came out for the proposal to my girlfriend, now fiance, and I'm officially engaged, which is a really exciting thing. So I guess that could be maybe our first topic is just talking about San Diego real quick and that whole thing.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I had Kayla's family all come out, and obviously you and the parents, and then, um, yeah, we all. I proposed on the beach on Friday night, and we had dinner at the Marine Room, and it was incredible. It was like the sunset was perfect, and we had a professional photographer that was hiding, and obviously she said yes, and it was like super exciting. Then we had a proposal dinner. We had an engagement dinner the following night, and played a lot of pickleball and hung out and spent time at the beach. And in my opinion, I thought it was a pretty incredible weekend.
Yeah, it was great. I think I said this in my little toast that I had, but it was one of those times where we will most likely look back on it for a long time. Um, engagement, marriage, birth of your children. Those are some big stepping stones, and that was one of them.
Yeah. Crossing 30 podcast episodes. I'm joking.
Yeah, yeah.
But
How
no,
could I forget?
you're 100% right. And it was the first time I was able to meet your girlfriend too, which was super fun. And she's great as well. Sounds like you guys have some fun travel plans this summer too.
Yeah. So uh, I've recently entered into a merger and acquisition agreement with a new female in my life. I was co-advised by friends and family to enter into this agreement, and despite all due diligence that we both did, we both found it to be a compatible match with enormous synergies for one another and society. So it,
A lot of upside potential.
oh yeah, the upside's huge. It's a good equity story. It's a good debt story. It's just the the foundation is there. The basics are there. So it really made sense. There's a lot of overlap in customers and industry, so it made sense. And I also mentioned this in the toast too, but like when things make sense and when things seem to work out, they just seem to work out, and it's easy, and you don't need to force these things. So I mentioned that with in the toast with you and Kayla specifically, but with this girl that I've started dating, Haley. I joke a lot, but uh, she loves Jesus. She likes to work out. She's smart. Has a great job. Um, she has a dog. So there's a lot of things that just make sense, and definitely giving it a shot. Um, so yeah, it's very new, but it's been good.
Good, 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 good. No, that's awesome. And yeah, it was it was good seeing you guys together. It just seems like it yeah, I mean, very compatible. I'll share everyone quick little
Oh
photo.
gosh.
Keep everyone updated. Nice little photo of the squad. Just so everyone can follow along here on our path. But no, it's fun. That's awesome. Cool. So let's finish up topic number one. Number two, I mean, our podcast is around, investing and possible returns of life. And, we talk about faith and family and fitness, anything recent that's maybe with your faith or your fitness that, just kind of switching it up and hitting on a different subject, anything recent in regards to those areas.
Yeah. I think someone mentioned this to me, or it could have been in a sermon I was listening to, but like some people, and it just came up when you mentioned that last sentence, but there's a lot of people can look at the world and say like, oh, what can it give me? What can I get from it? Like, what's the potential output? And Christians look at the world more just, or at least we should look at the world like what we can give, um, and how we can help others, and what what our gifts and skills are to give to the world, and expecting nothing in return.
Mm,
So that's how Jesus lived. He gave it all for us. He helped the poor. He fed the hungry. Uh, he healed the sick. Uh, Made the blind see. Like that. He did that all, knowing that a lot of these people that he was helping could give nothing back. And um, I think there's a tendency for humans in general to look at the world and say, "Hey, this is a great opportunity. What can I get from it? Oh, it's a great job. What can it give me? Or this is a good relationship. What can I get out of it?" But I think another a better way to look at it is just like, what do I have to give, and how can I be in a position to help people?
yeah.
Um, and ultimately, the reward, um, in putting your faith in Jesus is not anything on this world. It is eternal.
It's the
Uh,
crown of life, as they say.
yes. So I think in First and Second Peter, where
Yep.
G- Jesus suffered more than anybody, and Peter says that we are to be like Jesus, and we're to suffer for him, um, and that I think that looks a lot different in the 21st century than it did in in the first century. Thankfully, but there are still ways where we can deny ourselves and uh, suffer for Jesus. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's good. And you said like what we have to give to God and what we have to give to Jesus. And I was listening to a song actually on the way to the office this morning, and the song was "All I Have Is a Hallelujah." Like sometimes that's all you have to offer the King. And I really like that song because it's like that's what he wants. Like he just wants our heart. He wants us to
Mm-hmm.
recognize who he is, and he wants our heart, and he wants our hallelujah. He wants our praise. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when we're beaten up and chewed up by life, sometimes maybe that's all we feel like we can give is you know, just praise to him. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
really, really good point, and I definitely relate with that. I think that's a good perspective,
Yeah.
and good lens to have on a relationship with Jesus.
But I think it's also important to recognize that we have been given so much. Like, we do have
Yeah,
so much more to give than just the hallelujah. I think both of us are, and most people living in America in the 21st century have so much to give. Most people most of the time, and just acknowledging that we can be so grateful for that, and knowing that there's what God has given us, that He can trust that in us, and we need to return what He's given,
yeah,
each to our own ability. Um, we know that we are each going to be judged, um, based on that. Or I take that back. We're judged for what Jesus did on the cross, but the parable of like the is it the farmer or the father who gives the 5 cents, the 5 talents and the 2 talents?
yeah.
Like, we are called to give in return. We are called to give what we've received, and it's not going to be the same for everybody. Um,
And
so
uh, and when we're tithing, he doesn't mean tithe by saying hallelujah. He actually means like tithe by giving part of your income. You know,
well,
uh,
I think not. I think it's a lot more than income. Like, it is our worship, and it is our praise, and it's also our money. Like, our money's not our own. Like, all that we have is God's, not ours. So I think, along with, there's not one or the other. It's, I think, if we truly are surrendering to God in a hallelujah, then we can also say, like, hey, like, here's this money to help certain uh, churches or ministries, or things like that. So I think that a lot of people kind of turn away a little bit when churches ask for money, but it's not magic. It's like there still needs to be money to fund, things that go on, and to fund, to be the hands and feet of Jesus. So, yeah, I think we've covered that.
yeah,
But
cool,
yeah, yeah.
cool, good stuff. Well, was that you said was is that like a sermon that they're doing at your church, or is that like a podcast, or?
Um, I think it was just a sermon I was listening to online. Um, so
Yeah, I've actually been reading First Peter because I mentioned the crown of life, and like that's one of the rewards you get is for like the suffering is like you endure trials and endure suffering so you can get the crown of life, which is essentially eternity in heaven. And they mentioned that in First Peter. So when you pulled that up after I said it, I was like, man, there you go. I was like, that's good stuff. That's good
yeah.
stuff. So
Hmm.
um, all right, wonderful. Well, let's maybe finish up topic number three. Um, I don't know if we've talked about your squash tourney. Tell me about your squash tournament and how amateur you are.
uh, well, I'm below amateur. I
Oh,
believe the term is novice.
not-
So I was in the novice division of a squash tournament, and I breezed through the first round with flying colors. Uh, and then
definitely not a college athlete you faced.
correct. And then I got my novice ass handed to me in the second round. Yeah, this so it was I was feeling pretty confident after the first round. And then this guy who grew up playing tennis his whole life called himself a novice squash player, and he beat me pretty good. Um, and I've seen him, I've met him, or I've seen him at the club, uh, probably 3 times since we playing squash. So I know he plays a lot because I've seen him in the past like 3 or 4 times that I've been working out, and he's playing squash. And
Like
and
he's been looking forward to the novice tournament like for the last 10 months.
yeah, yeah. Uh, so we're gonna play squash this weekend, actually. Um, so I was, he's a good guy, and I enjoyed talking to him and playing from him. So, uh, looking forward to playing him again, and maybe I can get a win under my belt.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well that's exciting. I like doing it like hearing about stuff like that. That's like I don't know, maybe there's like some kind of pickleball tournament that I could be in here in San Diego. I don't know. I feel
uh-huh.
like that'd be fun. Like that'd be cool.
hmm Yeah, I think it it's definitely helped my pickleball game. Um, just racket sports in general are new, but I've been playing squash and playing pickleball, and I played paddle once. So yeah,
And battle tennis, right? Or did you not play that?
paddle, yeah, paddle tennis.
Oh, paddle tennis.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
paddle.
that and that's played in a cage, and it's pretty much a combination of pickleball and tennis in a cage. So it was good.
Yeah.
hmm
Cool.
hmm
Cool, cool, cool. Um,
hmm
let's see. I guess exciting stuff to look forward to, and I guess new changes in my mindset on investing. I'm looking forward to a trip coming up. I'm going out to Dallas in 2 weeks and going out for this life insurance and retirement conference, and then a big company event that we're doing out there. And then also I have some agents on my team that live in Texas or are getting a really big Airbnb. And I think investing can be like investing into quality relationships and investing into like growing different relationships, whether it's with other people in the company and then also other people that are other coworkers or other agents that are doing what you do so that you can have a stronger bond with them and maybe can bounce ideas off of each other. So that's one way that I'm investing that I haven't done much of in my life is investing into relationships with specifically in the business field. Um,
hmm
and doing that. So I'm excited for that trip coming out in 2 weeks and um, making those investments and everything. What about you? Any closing thoughts on either investing or just returns or how you view that?
Returns. Returns. Uh, I think I saw on just an Instagram post, just a reel recently, and it's a I don't know who it was. It was one of the people that's all over Instagram doing motivational stuff. Um, but he said is that people don't rise to the level of their goals; they fall to the level of their standards. Um,
Come on.
and it's made me think. It's like, okay, the goals never got anybody anywhere.
Goals
Um,
don't make you unique. Like even
yeah,
peasants have goals.
right. Goals don't make it's not like the a life-changing differentiator is having goals versus not having goals. It's it's their systems, it's their standards, it's their routines, it's their practices, and that's what leads to uh, success. So I've just been recycling that thought in my mind and thinking like where where can I be better in my routines and my standards? Because I we've said this before, but in order to get to where in order to have the level of success that we want, we need to have the goals, the routine, or we need to have the standards and the routines and the practices um, that get us to that level. So if I guess being if our goal is to have a top 0.1% podcast, then we need to have the standards for that. It's not necessarily having the goal. So I think like recently I haven't been in the gym as much. So I've been traveling a lot, and um, it's just when your time is whacked on like different time zones and flights and stuff, it's really hard to get up in the morning. And then I've been working late, so I just kept on thinking about that and saying like the past month or so has not been of the right standard or routine that uh, one I'm accustomed to or happy about. So this week's been better, but it's I'm just more conscientious of like how easily things can slip um, in work, in physical, um, in your relationships. It's very easy for things to slip, and that's what happens to average people. And I feel very average at the moment when it comes to that. So it's uh, it's been
You taught me this word like 4 years ago. The word of entropy,
mhm.
right? Is like the constant state of how naturally the world will slip into chaos and like clutter, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, yes,
So kind of going off the same premise.
yeah. No, it. I think entropy is amazing. I think just like you can associate it to like the cleanliness of your room. You can associate it to your work. Anything. There's just things will naturally go towards a more ordered state of chaos. But on a greater scale, I think this is one of the biggest, or not, it's a big reason for me why I believe there's a God and God is who he says he is because at the creation of the universe, at at some point, without a creator, things should fall into more chaos. Um, but for some reason, the the Big Bang theory and evolution right now, this whole system, we'll call that like just the Big Bang theory evolution to where we are now. Like for some reason, that system has become more ordered. Like we get planets to form, we get life to form, we get single cell organisms to multi cell organisms to creatures that are now out of the water that can stand upright to functioning human beings. Like that in my mind, that's not entropy, right? But
Mm,
that is so I'm thinking there has to be like a greater, there has to be someone outside of that dictating
that's good.
that. There has to be somebody outside of that in order the universe would just
Good.
continue to fall into entropy. And I haven't heard of like like I think the counter argument is that there was just so much randomness that eventually molecules bump into each other at the perfect time with the
Yeah,
perfect speed
yeah.
at the perfect
B
vector
BS,
to
yeah.
create life. But that explains one instance of um, of circumstance and does not explain the constant our constant universe and our world and life going from a state of of chaos and bleh and nothingness to what we have now with humans. Um, and I don't mean now like cities and Apple watches. I mean more like humans on this earth as just it's a very recent phenomenon in the grand scheme of um, the history of the earth or even in the universe. Um, so it for me that just I've already said it, but it's just huge evidence of a creator
Yeah,
because we
that's
see
good.
um, and yeah, and I think like that's not getting into the 7 days thing or anything like that, but um, it makes me pay attention to where we're at.
Mhm. I like that. I like that. I've never heard the two kind of come together, and how it's like almost evidence that God has to be real is because of the law of everything spiraling out of control.
Right. Like
Makes
we
sense, makes
see,
sense to me.
right. Like I mean, in science, um, we've accepted this phenomenon, but somehow don't apply it to the creation of the universe. Um, and like, yeah, so very interesting.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you have it. There you
Mhm.
have it. Well, cool stuff. I think that just about finishes it up for today. Um, yeah, that's all we got. Wrapping up another episode 32 of the Erickson Brothers podcast, man. Um, Ending out here in San Diego, and until next time.
Yes, sir.
Peace.